Hey guys. So unfortunately, I did not start this video today. It's Monday. And I was going to do I am doing a reading however many pages. I picked up my phone the week before. Does that make sense? Like if you go on screen time, I'm going to last week, and if I'm looking at pickups and I'm reading however many pages, I picked up my phone. Hi Kate, come here. Come here. Yeah, come on. I'm talking to the camera. Come on. You got it. Kate's here. And I did, in fact, just now remember that I was filming this video. It's 6:30, so not that late. And I'll just insert the screenshot here. I picked up my phone 127 times on Monday of last week. So therefore, I'm going to read 127 pages today. I already read probably 800 pages today. So I picked up, well, on my Kindle, I read the first book in a series that was on Kindle Unlimited called The Scarlet Princess. And I loved it. So I got the second, they're all on Kindle Unlimited. So I got the second one. This was yesterday, by the way. Yesterday I read The Scarlet Princess, and the second one, which I cannot remember the name of at the moment, which was Tarnished Crown. And then I also downloaded the third one, started that at like 11 p.m. on Sunday night, so last night. And I stayed up until 2 a.m. to finish it. So if we're counting me after midnight, which is technically Monday, that was done when I finished book 3. Then this morning I got up and was like, time to read book 4. So I just finished book 4. So I read 4 books in the past 2 days, which you'll hear me talk all about this series in my November reading wrap up. But needless to say, I devoured them and I loved them. The first 3 could be anywhere between 4 and 5 stars. They were so good. And the last one I gave 5 stars just because because it's a good book, but also because the series as a whole was so good. I loved Rowan. She's such a great main character. I loved the kind of like brave Merida vibes. It was like definitely Rowan gave Merida vibes. Like that's who I pictured as Rowan throughout the whole book, from Brave. And Evander I love him. So I loved them. It was a 5-star series. It's all on Kindle Unlimited, so if you have Kindle Unlimited, you should read it. But I read my 127 pages today. So, and I didn't film any of it. So that's kind of on me. My bad that I didn't do that. So I'm going to come here tomorrow to actually film and talk about and purposely read the pages that I'm supposed to read. I got too caught up in my series and completely forgot that I was filming this video. So that means tomorrow I have to read 103 pages. Now, this should be pretty easy. I don't see how I couldn't read 103 pages because I am flying home tomorrow for Thanksgiving. So I will be reading on my flight home, and seems like a good time to read 100 pages. So I will come back tomorrow to officially start this challenge of reading however many times I picked up my phone in pages. And I just feel like I needed to take a little break this week because if you watched last week's video, I read the first 2 Crescent City books in preparation for Crescent City 3 coming out. And now I have read 4 books in 2 days. I have been just like so immersed in like fantasy and like just all of these worlds that I needed to kind of reel it back, take it slow. And also it's Thanksgiving and I'm going to be spending time with my family. So I didn't want to overload myself with a huge task this week. So I think it's going to be good. It's going to be a fun way to kind of make sure I'm reading, but nothing too stressful. So I have a few fun books kind of percolating that I might choose, but I just wanted to come on here, apologize for missing Monday, but also not missing Monday. And I will be back tomorrow to read 103 pages.
1, 2, 3, 4. I wanna give it to you, boy, but there's a voice in my head that keeps telling me not to let you see secrets hidden inside me. I wanna say it to you, girl, but the words in my head, they don't string together easily. That's just what you do to me. Love should be given freely as we breathe. Love, it's in the...
If I am to be her enemy, I want it to be because she loathes herself for wanting me. Okay, some of the lines in this are just perfect. We just had a "who did this to you" moment, and the tension, the banter between our main characters is truly otherworldly. It's so good. I'm loving it. So, good job, Lauren Roberts, so far. Okay, I am now on page 310, and I started today on page 203. So 103 pages was how many pages were on my agenda today, and that puts me at 104 pages technically, but I'm almost done with chapter 35. Let's see what percent I'm through. Let me put it in Goodreads. That puts me at 60%. So, as I said, I am flying home, but my flight got delayed, so I'm currently just waiting, basically. I thought I was gonna already be at the airport by now, but my flight got delayed like an hour and a half. So instead of leaving at 5:50, I'm leaving at 7:15 as of right now, but I'm keeping an eye on it. It's a little bit like rainy outside, but it's definitely not storming here, so I don't think it's because of weather here, and it's not that cold. It's only 53, so it's not like it's freezing rain or anything like that. So we're keeping an eye on the rain. So expect me to come back tomorrow having read more of this book on the plane. I will read some more pages this evening. I was planning on waiting until I got to the airport and was on the plane, but then my flight got delayed, so I had more time this afternoon to read. Anyway, I don't know how many pages I have left, but I might finish this today. Honestly, I'm not sure. But I'm only bringing one physical book with me, and then I'm gonna bring my Kindle Actually, I might grab another physical book. We'll see. I need to look at the books on my shelf and see what I want to bring. But where are we right now in the book? Kai and Peyton, we have both of their point of views, which I love having dual POV. I like seeing the MMC's POV. The first trial is complete. I don't know if I even talked about this book, but the premise is that there's like elites that have these powers, like they could be different powers. Some of them are like super strong, some of them can wield fire. There's a plethora of powers. So there's the like elites, and then there's the ordinaries that have no powers, and the king basically has decreed that ordinaries have to be banished from the kingdom. So Peyton, our main character, is an ordinary, but she saves the prince's life, and in doing that she gets entered into this like purging trials. Kate, I'm in here. Into the purging trials, which are basically like a competition where you can win like honor and money. But because she's an ordinary, she has no powers, and all of the other contestants have powers, and no one can know that she doesn't have powers. Like, it's against the law. So she's hiding the fact that she has no powers and trying to compete in these trials against these very powerful elites. So that's kind of the premise, and we just finished the first trial, and we're kind of starting to see like the bigger picture of like what Peyton is going to be kind of involved in the future. And also getting some tension. I'm not sure if there's going to be kind of like a love triangle moment. I'm obviously trying to be spoiler free, but things are still kind of falling into place, but I'm really enjoying it. The banter is so good. I'm loving the premise. So far, so good. And I will update you tomorrow with my next number of pages.
Tonight, it's the Renaissance.
Hey guys, so I'm home. This is my childhood home. You've seen this before, maybe. But we are back for day 2/3 of this challenge, and we are going to see how many pages I'm supposed to read today. We go screen time. Don't judge my screen time, guys. Let's see. Wednesday of last week, I picked up my phone 140 times. So that means we're supposed to read 140 pages today, which is great. I did in fact finish Powerless last night on the plane. I got a few clips, and it was really good. I don't know if I knew that it was YA, but it is YA. At least this one had nothing that would not make it YA, but the ending was really good. I think it kind of it had a logical like way that it didn't end. It ended with, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen in the next book? Because Peyton, she is kind of now, she's on the outs. not from me, but from Kit and Kai, who are the princes. So I'm interested to see how their relationships develop in the next book, which I believe comes out. It's called Reckless, and I believe it comes out in like the summer, July of 2024. So I still have a while, which is so just typical and annoying, where I would love a book and then the next book's not out yet. I do think I'm gonna give this one 5 stars. It was good. So if you're looking for like a YA fantasy series, it was kind of like a mix of The Hunger Games and like, what else could it be a mix of? The Prison Healer. There was like magical powers, but it's also kind of like the trials are kind of like the Hunger Games. So it was a really good book and I really enjoyed it. And also last night on the plane, I started By a Thread by Lucy Score, which I've had on my shelf for a while. I do have the physical copy of the book, but I did not bring it with me. The physical copy is still at home, so I'm just reading it on my Kindle. I had it downloaded on my phone, so I'm reading it on my phone, but I did bring my Kindle, so I will, let's see, I am on page 249 of this book. So if I read, what did I say, 140? I'll be at page 389. So that's my goal for the day. It's currently 10:30 and I think my mom and I might go get our nails done today, and I'm just hanging out with my family. So I'm going to vlog what I can, and I will update you with thoughts on By a Thread later.
Love tonight, promise that you'll hold on tight. It's the renaissance of love tonight. Promise that you'll be alright. Looking out of my window, nothing but blue skies and a wind that gently anchors me, then opens up my eyes to see a flower blooming so carelessly.
Okay. It is now several hours later. It's 3:30, and I did in fact finish my pages. I don't remember how many I said I was gonna read. Let's see if it's still here. Oh, 389. I'm on page 390. So I finished my pages for the day. I read while I was getting my nails done. Well, I got my toes done as well. So I was sitting in the chair getting my nails done. It was great. Will this stop me from reading? No. Will I come back tomorrow reading a new book? Maybe, but I will give you a little update on where we're at with By a Thread. The best way I can describe this is like Devil Wears Prada vibes. Except it's a rom-com. So like Miranda Priestley is a 40-year-old man, and our main character, whose name I now can't remember, Allie, is his assistant or works for him. But there's rules at the office that employees and their supervisors can't like have a relationship. So that's kind of like what the backstory is. We're at the point right now where they are like, they've, you know, been fighting their feelings for each other, and they're finally gonna like maybe try and make something work between them. Allie's dad is in a nursing home because he has dementia, and so she's like really tight on money because she's trying to help pay for his nursing home. And obviously Dominic, our MMC, wants to help her, and she is not good at accepting help. She doesn't want to owe anyone anything. So that's kind of the tension point that we're at right now. I'm 70% through, but I'm about to run to the grocery store with my mom and get some things to make Thanksgiving dinner. My brother's coming upstairs, I think. But yeah, so I'm gonna run to the store. I'm wearing the same sweatshirt I wore yesterday. So it looks like I haven't changed at all, but I am wearing new clothes, clean clothes, except for this. So that's kind of my update, and I will see you when I see you.
And a sweet little bird that looks for food to feed her family, yet still finds time to jump with glee. It is given freely with each breath that we breathe. It makes us whole inside. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Hey guys. So, as you can tell, I'm home from Thanksgiving. We went to my dad's side of the family that's 2 hours away for Thanksgiving, dinner, and got back at close to 9. So I did read a little this evening after we had eaten and we're just hanging out. And I finished By a Thread. And I ended up settling on a 4-star rating for By a Thread. I do think it's one of my favorite Lucy Score books that I've read. And I had heard from some of my favorite book talkers and booktubers that this was their favorite as well. And I come to expect from Lucy Score they're gonna be longer than they probably need to be, and spicy, which I love honestly and enjoy in a Lucy Score book. There's gonna be some cliches will there be a third act breakup? Probably. But you know what to expect, and it's just a good rom-com. It is a rom-com. And it's a spicy rom-com, so it's even better. But I would say that Dominic was one of my favorite Lucy MMCs. I loved him, and although I don't, you kind of expect a third act breakup. Well, I don't love that, but I do love the way that he kind of came back from it and redeemed himself and proved to her that he was the right person for her. He really worked for it, and he was just so I loved him. And I love although maybe this is a billionaire millionaire romance, I don't know if that's a thing, but he's obviously rich, which I love. So that is kind of my thoughts on By a Thread. Tomorrow, Friday, I need to read 90 pages, which is honestly not that many at all. So easy to do. The other book that I brought with me is Maybe Meant to Be. It's by Kate T. Walter, who also wrote It Happened One Summer. No. I think It Happened One Summer. And she wrote What Happens After Midnight and something with summer in the title. And I really liked What Happens After Midnight. So I brought that one with me. So I'll probably start that tomorrow. We'll see how much I read. But tomorrow's just going to be a chill, like, family day, so I would assume that I'll be able to easily read 90 pages. So that is my update for today. I wish I had gotten more clips, but obviously it was Thanksgiving, so I did not do that much filming. And I'm surprised that I got as much reading done as I did. But everyone was watching football, so I obviously brought my Kindle and was reading. So I will see you tomorrow.
Baby, this is a story about me and you, and the beauty that we did pursue.
Hey. This feels like weird, but I am out at my family's land at the ranch, so I'm wearing my cowboy hat, and I also did not bring my camera, so I'm using my phone right now to film this. I got a few clips yesterday, and yesterday I was supposed to read 90 pages. I started a new book yesterday because I had finished By a Thread. So yesterday I started and finished Never Met a Duke Like You, which is like a historical romance, Regency era romance, and started and finished that. Like I said, it was the second book in the Taming of the Dukes series, and it followed Lady Vesper and as the FMC, and the MMC was Aspen Graydon, I believe was his last name. And basically they grew up as like friends, and then something happened and they like are now, I wouldn't say enemies, but like not friends. They have like a distinct like hatred for each other. But there's like a forced proximity moment at the beginning, and they have to kind of work together to help his ward find a match. And it's, you know, typical historical romance. If you've read historical romance, the like spicy parts of it are relatively tame in comparison with some like spicy books, but the like fact that they have to hide it and then it's like forbidden makes it all the more like juicy. So there's obviously like sneaking around, like hidden aspects of it, which I love. And it's been a while since I've read a historical romance. I go through phases with all books. Recently, I've been reading a lot of fantasy, but I went through a phase where like 1 month I read like 5 historical romance books. Like I do enjoy them a lot. And I have a few that are like ongoing series-ish that are like coming out with new books soon. So I will be reading like the continuations of those series. And that's what this book was. It was a continuation. I also have on my, like in my mind, that the third book in another historical romance, the Merriwell Sisters, has just released. So I might read that in the coming weeks. But for now, just know, I definitely read my 90 pages. I think that book was like 302 pages. And I read all 302 pages yesterday. So easily met my 90 goal. Now, today, I'm actually not sure how many pages I'm supposed to read because I'm recording this on my phone, but I will check and insert that here, how many pages I'm supposed to read. But today or last night really, I started The Serpent and the Wings of the Night, which is a vampire book. I have never read anything like this. This is my first foray into this type of like it's fantasy, but like this type of fantasy of like specifically a vampire book. I have not read Twilight. I know there's like Hush Hush and some of those other like vampire books that I have not read. So this is the first time I'm getting into that. And I am, let's see, 57% in. So I'm on page 281. I've read probably 80 pages of that today. And basically the premise is that Oriah is our FMC. She is a human that was raised by the vampire king. And I mean, the whole kingdom is vampires. Like the humans like live in the slums, like there are humans, but she like lives in the palace with the vampires and is like protected basically because the king has adopted her. And she's like 23 at the point in the story where we see her. We get some like moments back to when like her growing up, you can see like how she became who she is, but she's 23 and every like, I don't know, 200 years or something like that, there is this, I can't remember what it's called now. There's these like trials that basically only the strongest, they compete to win honor, and like they get a wish granted for them from Nyxia, who is the goddess that like created vampires and is like the goddess of the vampires. So they get a wish granted if they win. And she wants to win so that she can be like powerful and not like a weak human. So we're about halfway through the like trials, this competition, and it started out with like 50 vampires and her. And now we're down to like the top 10. She's still alive and she's kind of formed a tentative alliance with this one vampire. I'm sensing that maybe there's like something going on there. We haven't really gotten too much of a romance plot, but I'm sure that will come, or I'm expecting that to come from her and this like vampire that she has an alliance with. But I'm also skeptical of Vincent. Vincent is her father, basically the vampire that like adopted her and rescued her and is like raised her. I'm skeptical. He's the vampire king. I'm skeptical of him. He seems to want what's best for her, but I feel like there's some underlying motivation for him to be like helping her, or like why he adopted her. I don't really know what that would be, but like she has some powers that we are just now discovering, that she's like kind of powerful. Even though she's a human, she has this like magic that she for the first 23 years of her life didn't know, and now like during the trials it's like come out. So I'm thinking like maybe he knew that was like latent and inside her and like wants to use it for his gain somehow. I'm not sure, but that's kind of where we're at. And there's 2 books in the series. It's by Carissa Broadbent. It's on Kindle Unlimited, so that's why I picked it, because I left my physical book at home when I came out here. But anyway, that's kind of where we're at. I know I just talked for a long time, so I will catch up with you when I have more updates on this book.
You may think that you'll never find the one who makes you sing. But when you open up your mind, you'll find they're with you already. It's the renaissance of love tonight. Promise that you'll hold on tight.
Hey besties. So I look like the glazed donut a little bit, but clearly I've done my skincare. I'm in my jammies and I'm in bed. I just finished The Serpent and the Wings of Night. The ending, pretty much the whole first 70% of the book, I was like, I was not feeling great about my chances of reading the second book. The last 30%, however, it did make me think, oh, maybe I should and will read the second one. I'm not going to read it right now or probably in the next few weeks, just because I didn't, it's not enough for me to be like, I need to know what happens right now. Will I read the next one? Possibly, but I don't know. I do think this is probably a 3.5 stars for me. It wasn't my favorite. There were some things about it that I really liked, and there were some things about it that I didn't like, and I'm not sure how I feel about vampire romance. I don't know if this is a romance. It's vampire fantasy. There's some romance, but like, I just don't know if it's for me. If the vampire genre is something that I will continue to look into, because I'm not sure that I loved it. So that's my thoughts on that. The second one's also on Kindle Unlimited, so that's maybe in the future. But for now, I read my page count for today, which was 99 pages. Far surpassed that, which we expected. And this is actually going to be the end of this video. I am flying home tomorrow, back to Nashville, and I'm currently trying to upload the Crescent City vlog, so if you have not seen that, go watch it. And I will be starting a new video tomorrow. So this is the end of this video, and be ready for a fun one coming next as well. I'm jumping right into another reading vlog, so I'll see you guys somewhere else on the channel, and I hope you subscribe. I'll see you. Bye.